for Maryland governor is still too close to call. America's listening to Fox News.
The Mix 1041 News Desk, brought to you by Logan Thompson Law, a tradition of legal and community service. That's Logan Thompson Law at LoganThompsonLaw.com. All right. And we will check more news at 9 o'clock this morning. But first, welcome in, everyone. You're listening to Mix 1041. Also on Talk 1013 The Buzz, and watching us on MixTV.tv. We welcome you in to what will be our final Mix Mornings debate series. We have been doing these since May. Did these in the May elections and had a tremendous response, and now we are back with our second and final for the August election. This morning, we concentrate on the District 24 State House of Representatives race, and this morning, and I'm going to go this way, just alphabetically. We have Kevin Raper, we have Rex Wagner, and we have Troy Weathers. And we did get a note just before coming on the air that candidate Israel Farless will not be joining us this morning. Let me give you the way we're going to be doing this. Pretty simple, as I told the candidates off the air. I just keep it simple for me, so I'll remember. But 2 minutes, 2 minute opening statement, 2 minute responses, and 2 minute close. All right, so we're going to begin. We'll just begin with Kevin Raper and continue on with some opening statements. And again, thank you, gentlemen, for coming in this morning. By the way, thank you for offering yourself for service. Kevin, I'm going to start. I'll turn your mic on, and I'm going to start with you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
You're great. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm Kevin Raper, and I want to thank WCLE. Thank you for being a staple of the community, and thank you for hosting this forum this morning. We have two great school districts, and there's a misconception out there, and I want to address that this morning. Never has there been a plan in place to take public school monies to fund charter schools. Never. It comes from growth monies, just like any other recurring monies, like TennCare, mental health, safety initiatives. Parents deserve choices. Other parts of the state, public schools are not viable options. So these people need options when it comes to schools. And competition is healthy. So, let me give you a scenario. If you support parent choices where no public school monies are used, but one is supportive of charter schools, is not supportive of charter schools, then it's hypocritical. I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. All right, opening statement now, and just an open here. Rex Wagner. Rex?
Thank you for hosting us here today. I'm Rex Wagner. I'm candidate for District 24 State House of Representatives. I was born and raised in the Hopewell community, Bradley High School, Cleveland State graduate, went to law school at Cumberland School of Law, Samford University. Spent a little short time in two states outside of Tennessee for about 5 to 6 years. Both of those states had income taxes, and actually some of them had more taxes than I've ever seen anywhere. None of those states were better off than Tennessee. In fact, one of them was worse off in many areas, except for their football team. They had a great football team, but a lot of their government services were bloated and they were out of control. So we're living in a state that's great, and we got a lot good stuff going on. But also, the national government has created a big inflation situation that is impacting everybody. And a big problem with that is taxes and spending. We have to keep that under control in Tennessee. And I'm doing that, and that's why I'm running, is because I've always been interested in the legislature. I love to serve this community that has been so good to me. I'm approaching this just as an effort to give back to my community, and we can do that by seeing that our money is spent wisely. Education's important. I'm dedicated to it. I've taught at Cleveland State. I've been a beneficiary of education. But there are like more than a dozen other departments in state government. Department of Homeland Security, Commerce and Insurance, Banking, TennCare, numerous other commissions and boards. There's a $52 billion budget. that has to be administered and approved by the legislature. I am just looking to be this community's servant, and I will serve the public well. I will listen to everyone. I will listen to everything that people have to say, and I will work hard for this community. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Troy Weathers, your opening statement.
Thank you, Steve. And let me say, last night I was thinking, well, we are very blessed to have 104.1 a part of our community, and also televising all these debates and other things happening in our community. We just don't have that in other places. So let me say thank you for inviting us. I'm Troy Weathers, and I'm running for the 24th District House seat for the state of Tennessee and to serve our great city of Cleveland. I was born and raised here. I love Cleveland. It's been a part of my life all my life, and I'm married. I have 3 daughters. One is a nurse, one is a teacher, and one works for Life Bridges. My wife's a teacher. So sometimes you may say, well, why do you talk about education a lot? Well, I hear a lot about education a lot, so it means something to me. I believe you speak up when you need to speak up. If you're going to run for office, I have one of those unique situations. I've got 20 years of experience of serving the community already, plus 3 years in the military. And you can look back on my career, and I believe you can say, you can evaluate how well I did. So I'm not coming in this race not knowing what's going on or how it works or why it works or what we need to do for our city and for our county. So I ask you as voters to remember me on Election Day, which is August the 4th. We're in early voting right now. And let me first say, I'm very appreciative of all the folks that I saw while I was knocking on doors. And I'm still knocking. Matter of fact, I'm going today to knock on doors. But what a great experience it is. And probably out of all the political part that we do, I probably enjoyed that more than anything. Meeting folks, talking to folks, hearing their needs, their wants, and just listening. And I think people really appreciate that. So again, I appreciate you having us here today, and I look forward to answering the questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you all very much. And I tell you what, we're just going to go right back to you, Troy. Okay. Here's our first question this morning. And by the way, some of these questions we developed, some have come in from the audience and the public as we have promoted this debate this morning. And that is, what makes you the best candidate to represent the people of the 24th District? So let me rephrase that again or restate the question. What makes you the best candidate for the people of the 24th District? Troy Weathers, will begin with you.
Well, thank you, Steve. That's an excellent question. I think I've got an excellent answer. I think what makes the difference for me is my experience I bring to the table. I have negotiated deals on top of deals. I have worked with everybody in our community. I've worked on the school board. Obviously, I was a vice president with Wholesale Supply Group for years, for 26 years, matter of fact. I believe that what I bring to the table, number one, is experience of getting things done. I don't think we need somebody to go to Nashville and all they do is push yes or no. I think you have to be a part of the process. I think you've got to be willing to speak up. I think you've got to be willing to stand in the gap when nobody else will. And so I'll give you an example, Steve. When the gentleman over in Nashville made a comment about our teachers, and he did make a comment about our teachers and our colleges. No matter what anybody says, if you listen to it, that's exactly what he implied, that we weren't good enough to even do charter schools. He wants to bring his own people in to do it because matter of fact, he don't think you have to have an educational background to teach in charter school. So I don't know how anybody can convince me that that's a smart move. So I am not in favor of that. Now, is there opportunities for them to use charter schools or anything else they want to? Fine, but I don't want them to say it's a law in Tennessee that we have to do that. I believe there's opportunities, but I don't think we need it here in Bradley County. And that's who I'm going to serve is Cleveland, Bradley County. You're not sending me to Nashville to serve Memphis or Knoxville or Nashville. You're sending me to serve Cleveland, to make sure that what we have works for us, not for them. So that is my goal, is if you send me to Nashville, I'm going to do what's right for us, always. That'll be my vote. Thank you.
Okay. Same question we're going to Rex Wagner. Rex, what makes you the best candidate to represent the people of the 24th District?
Well, thank you. Several things. I've got a lot of life experience, a lot of training. I have an undergraduate degree in criminal justice, a law degree. I'm a fully licensed lawyer in Tennessee, can practice in the state and federal courts. I've actually read the court decisions involving Roe v. Wade and Casey in Pennsylvania. Haven't read the new Dobbs case out of Mississippi yet. It's a 200 or 300 pages long. I will get to that. But I know how to deal with these issues, and I know how to argue them. I know the constitutional issues. I know the facts and the circumstances. But besides that, I worked up at the Bowater factory for many years. I was in administration and computer systems. But as I worked there in that environment, I learned how the business world works. I learned how the economy works, working for a Fortune 500 company. And I've also seen businesses come and go and fail. I've worked for a very small business. I run a small law office, which is a small business. We hire employees, we fire employees, but just a lot of life experience too. Growing up on my dad's little tiny farm and riding in the milk truck with him as we drove the roads. In fact, drove this road right out in front of the studio many times. And I just learned a lot from life experience. And that's what brings me to the point of wanting to do this. Also, I've had this kind of private hobby for all my life of studying and learning and watching government process, the state legislature in particular. There's a well-known publication, the leading publication in Tennessee for state news called the Tennessee Journal. I had a subscription to that in the 1980s, and I learned about a lot of those things. I did an internship in college with the state agency, learned some things there. Everywhere I've gone, I've had a life learning experience, and that's what I bring to the table here.
All right, and Kevin Raper, same question. What makes you, what do you feel makes you the best candidate to represent the people of the 24th District?
Couple of things. First of all, I'm a 32-year resident of District 24, and I've been able to be a family member of District 24. Next thing is I've served on the County Commission in District 7, which is a district that is involved in District 24, and along with that, I've served on numerous committees. I have been able to be given the opportunity to align myself with the belief system of the people of District 24, and then that way I can be a voice of concerns and areas of improvement for District 24.
All right. Thank you, sir. I tell you what, we're going to take a break right here and come back. We've got a lot of ground to cover. We'll do our best to do that by about 9 o'clock. You're listening to Mix 104.1, Talk 101.3 The Buzz, and you're watching. You can watch us on mixtv.tv. We had several people yesterday who missed us live. Folks, listen, not only for this debate, but anything we do here in the morning, including all of Bridget's mistakes, you can go back and watch them. Like your mother does every night.
Yes.
Is that right?
She does that.
Mixtv.tv. Mixtv.tv. Our sincere appreciation to Serenity Funeral Homes of Cleveland and the Southeast Tennessee area for sponsoring this morning. Bridget, I tell you what, let's check our celebration list with our friends at Simmons Bank.
Okay.
How about Ken Do? Is he running for anything?
Well, no, not.
When's he going to make his announcement?
Well, you never know.
Maybe tomorrow. Okay.
Happy birthday to Jocelyn Chastain, 11 years old yesterday. She shared a birthday with her great-grandfather, Bill Ingram, who was 80 yesterday. Corey Hood is 32 today. Lyle and Seema Swartzel, they are celebrating their 37th wedding anniversary today. And then Josh Kilgore is also celebrating today. Calling your birthdays and wedding anniversaries to us. We'll take those on the volunteer Writ of Hess Mix line, 614-6499. You can go to our website, mymix1041.com, or download our free Mix 1041 app. It's the Simmons Bank celebration list. Simmons Bank gives you more for a better banking experience with convenience in mind.
This news brought to you by the Mark Shepard Agency of Shelter Insurance. Call 910-9393. 910-9393.
I am Rex Wagner, candidate for state representative in District 24. I was born, raised, educated, and work in this district. I am seeking this job to give back to the community that I love. As an attorney, I've represented people for over 25 years. Before law school, I worked at Bowater for over 10 years. I will be an effective legislator. I will work to fix our roads, improve our schools, and protect our rights. Elect a representative that will listen to our citizens. Vote for Rex Wagner for state representative on August 4th.
Paid for by the Rex Wagner campaign. Scott Love, treasurer.
All right, Bridget, let's get a check of the streets right here. Back over to you.
Okay, this Don Ledford Cleveland Mixed Highway Patrol report is brought to you by Don Ledford in Cleveland. Don Ledford in Cleveland's pre-owned department is a great place to save and get your family into a new vehicle for all of your upcoming summer activities. They have over 140 quality pre-owned vehicles available right now with over 100 trucks and SUVs and 50 imports on the lot. That's at Don Ledford Cleveland on North Lee Highway.
Debbie Melton wanted me to forward a campaign promise. She will, if you buy a car at Don Ledford, she'll come to your house and wash your car.
Oh,
yeah.
How nice.
Yeah, I thought that was very, very nice. Thank you very much. Back over to you.
We have no accidents to tell you about this morning. Drive safely out there. If you see a traffic problem, give us a call. The volunteer Ridipest mix line is 614-6499. This traffic report is brought to you by the Cleveland Family YMCA. They are now registering for the 2022-2023 school year. The YMCA's after-school program is a safe place for children to play, learn, and grow when out of school. Visit ymcachattanooga.org for more information. We'll check your Mermaid Mattress Weather Center forecast coming up.
Needed MRI? Now you can.
At Ralph Buckner Funeral Home and Crematory, the tradition was founded by Ralph and Stella Buckner and continued by Ralph Buckner Jr. and his wife, Shari Buckner. Ralph Buckner Funeral Home and Crematory is a tradition of service. Ralph Buckner Funeral Home and Crematory, caring for Cleveland families whenever they need them. Visit ralphbuckner.com.
The Mix 1041, MixTV.tv Great Cleveland Duck Race, presented by Don Ledford Automotive, is Friday, August 12th at Greenway Park.
Your free rubber duck could send you on a Pensacola, Florida beach vacation plus other big prizes.
Register for your free rubber duck on the Mix 1041 app, a free download at mymix1041.com, or listen for your cue to call on Mix 1041. Then all ducks are picked up at Don Ledford Automotive.
Full details at mymix1041.com.
It takes a lot to get everything your college student needs for back to school, including a college dorm room. That's why we make this dorm mattress topper. Bring their bedroom to the dorm room. Their body and mind will thank you. Plus, we'll pay your sales tax on any Mermaid mattress brand purchase.
From Lookout Mountain to Cleveland, from Red Bank to Collegedale, luxury lives here.
Chattanooga Auto Square is your home for premium luxury automobiles.
And we have the largest selection in all of Chattanooga of pre-owned vehicles from every major brand.
Chattanooga Auto Square, Jaguar, Land Rover, Porsche, Infiniti.
Luxury lives here.
For those who deal with painful leg veins, Dr. Eston Winger wants you to know there is help.
Typically, most patients that come in have varying degrees of symptoms with their legs, and it could be that your legs feel heavy, your legs feel tired, your legs ache, your legs swell. And typically this is worsened as the day progresses as you're up on your legs. And most people think, oh, they're just for cosmetic reasons, but no, actually your legs can hurt by having varicose veins. The fact is that the veins are not going to go away on their own. The only way they're going to go away is by an intervention. And if they do bother you or you have questions about them, then I'd be more than happy to talk to you in consultation.
Schedule a consultation by phone, 423-472-5423.
Mattress on Stewart Road, just down from First Baptist Cleveland. Here's Roger Pickett.
Of course, you know you can buy all the best name brand mattresses at Mermaid Mattress, but our best value comes from our locally made sets made right here in Cleveland. Mermaid Mattress, better price, better sleep, better life.
All right, for today, partly cloudy early in the day today, and then a chance of thunderstorms this afternoon. Some of those storms may contain strong gusty winds, a high of 93 and a low of 74 this evening with more storms tonight. For tomorrow, thunderstorms likely during the morning and then a chance of scattered thunderstorms during the afternoon. Those storms may contain strong gusty winds as well, a high of 92 and a low of 70 tomorrow night. Mostly sunny on Friday with a high of 95. Your current Simply Bank temperature is 75 degrees. This weather forecast is brought to you by Bradley Concrete and Lamcon Ready Mix, family-owned business serving Cleveland for over 40 years. Call them at 423-472 479-4541 or visit lambcon.us to find out more.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're pleased to be joined by the candidates, 3 of our 4 candidates for the State House District 24, and we really appreciate them joining us this morning. Our Mixed Mornings debate series. This is our final one of this election year, brought to you by Serenity Funeral Homes. All right, we're going to go back to the questions, and this time we're going to begin with Rex Wagner and go down the panel here. And let's go to Roe v. Wade and the reversal of Roe v. Wade by the United States Supreme Court, basically sending it back to the states. The question is about the state legislature and enforcement of state law as it pertains to this, and also any type of prosecution that's been talked about of doctors, women. How will the state legislature look at even what's called chemical abortions, these pills that may cross over state lines? So basically that whole issue and how it applies to the state legislature, that's the question. Rex Wagner, we'll begin with you.
Thank you. The entire abortion debate involves huge, complex issues that are both moral, legal, and there's a lot of ethical questions, and there can be some very tough things. What's going to be different this year is the legislature will be working in this in a post-reversal of Roe v. Wade. That's never happened in the last 50 years. Now that has happened, Tennessee did put into some places a trigger law, what was nicknamed the trigger law, and the heartbeat law, which puts into place some actions. But there's going to be a whole new debate about things revolving around the issues you talked about. I'm going to listen to everything. I'm a very strong pro-life advocate, and I'm very familiar with all those issues. I actually had a law professor who was one of the rare people in the world in the United States who was pro-life and actually contributed to briefs filed with the U.S. Supreme Court in the Casey case and some other cases. And so I'm very familiar with those issues. There is no push anywhere to prosecute any women that seek abortions, whether they travel or go across state lines or anything. There is no push for that anywhere. And I think a lot of issues are going to focus on other exceptions. I'm going to gather more information, talk to everybody I can, and we'll see what's appropriate. I'm very much in agreement with the heartbeat law. I think it's very complex. It does provide exceptions for health of the mother, health or risk of serious bodily injury to body functions. And there'll be others that'll be debated. But it's going to be a big issue. I know how to research the issues. I know what some other states are doing. But abortion's not going away. It has been returned back to everybody on the news is saying to the states, but actually it's being returned to the people and their elected representatives, which is what the U.S. Constitution provided for.
All right, thank you. Kevin Raper, I want to come to you. Same question, the Roe v. Wade reversal and how it pertains basically to the state legislature of Tennessee.
First of all, I want to mention to you that I want to give another misconception, the fact of it is still a state option. So when the U.S. Supreme Court reversed it, a lot of people think it just automatically goes into effect. It doesn't. It's a state option. And currently, I am supportive of the platform that the Tennessee Right for Life supports, and basically that platform constitutes absolutely right for life, except for the one exception where mother's life is endangered and possibly even death, and so I'm for that. The next thing is this: as far as the prosecution as far as women is concerned, I have heard nothing as far as that taking place, and as of right now, I am not for that. I do want to look into all the options, but I will never ever support abortion as a means of birth control, and due to that, that is one of the reasons why Tennessee Right for Life, I'm the only candidate in this room this morning that has been endorsed by Tennessee Right for Life.
Okay, thank you. Troy Weathers, same question, and that is talking about this Roe v. Wade reversal, how it would pertain to the state legislature.
Well, first let me tell you that it is a law in Tennessee. It's against the law to have an abortion today. That's not something that the legislators are going to talk about. It's already made into law as of July 1. So that's a law today. I would tell you that this is my stance on pro-life. I'm a pro-life, and when I go knock on doors, this is what I say. I am pro-life. And I said, do you want to know why I'm pro-life? And they looked at me and said, sure, because I'm the ninth child. Don't have to say a whole lot after that, because I do believe in that. But I also want to tell you that I'm a father. I have 3 daughters. Now, I believe when we get to Nashville, whoever goes to Nashville, there are going to be lots of debates about the law and where we're going, what we're going to do. It changes the whole scheme of what happens. Number one, there's lots of laws that we're going to have to do. There's lots of things that we're going to have to do to help these. If we're going to be a pro-life state, it's not just say, let's say we're pro-life and it's all okay. That's not how it works. We've got to start making laws to help these ladies, girls, females. We've got to help them see themselves through this and also even past that. Now, I'm not talking about just continue a handout. I'm talking about helping the lady being able to self-support herself and the child. We've got to make those things available. If we don't, we're really just being hypocritical. Now, let me go back to another thing that I say when I talk to folks out there on the street, knocking on doors. I also tell them I'm a father first. And I was interviewed by the same folks that interviewed Mr. Raper. And I told them the same thing. That's why they didn't choose me, by the way, is because I said, if my daughters, I have 3 daughters, if one of them were to be violently raped, I'm sorry, I couldn't tell her she cannot have an abortion. Now, what she chose to do would be her business, but I'm not going to try to tell her what she has to do. And also, number 2, I agree with it. If my wife or daughter's life was at stake, I want my wife and daughters. Now, that's being a daddy. That's being a human. That's being not a legislator. And that's where I stand on pro-life. I am pro-life from the get-go.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to move on, and again, in the interest of time, I'm going to pretty much combine a couple of questions we received here, and then we're going to go to the economy now. And Kevin Raper, we're going to begin with you, and here's what we're going to talk about. Obviously, inflation. Obviously, the prices are 9.1% inflation right now nationwide. But I don't want to focus on I want to focus on Cleveland. You gentlemen are seeking to represent Cleveland in the State House Representatives 24th District. So, Kevin Raper, I want to begin with you. Talk about what could the legislature do to help not only inflation, but also the overall state economy, and your thoughts on that. Your thoughts on, okay, if elected, what would you do as part of that to continue, and in some ways, continue the growth we're seeing in the state, but in other ways, to help the people right here in Cleveland as far as the overall economy is concerned? Kevin Raper, we're going to begin with you.
Very good question, and they do overlap. The state of Tennessee and District 24 are having very similar problems. For example, people are having trouble with very basic things such as paying their gas bill, paying their utilities, buying food. Okay, so what do we do about that statewide to try to help locally? What we do is this. We try to promote businesses, where to keep our tax base low. We also promote jobs, and jobs that are not only with good wages, but and one of the things we talked about at the debate last night is this. One of the things that can happen, and this is more from a federal standpoint, is if we quit giving subsidies to these people and handouts and put them to work, then in that event, it does promote growth. We want to keep our tax base low, and that's also from statewide and from local standpoint. And then as a legislator, we try to help out the 2 mayors as far as attracting growth and businesses to our area.
All right, thank you, sir. Rex Wagner, same question. The high prices, but also on the other side of that, the economy overall, especially as it pertains to Cleveland, if you were to be elected to this position.
Well, we do want to keep our economy strong, and that's important, and we have to control government spending and things to where it's consistent with the growth of our economy, and that's a worldwide, nationwide, statewide issue. But you can't just say we want to keep the tax base low, when we've advocated for tax increases and more spending and endlessly for numerous years. And there are people who've done that, there are groups that have done that. But you have to keep those things. But there are people on the lowest end of our economy here, people on fixed incomes, people on SSI, people who struggle to pay their bills. We need to look at some potential tax relief there. And Tennessee can do that because our revenue sources are strong. There have been budget surpluses. I'll give you an example. I've got my water bill in my pocket. There's a sales tax on your water bill. Most people don't even look at that these days. But that's something, if we could give some relief there, maybe remove that, that would help everyone, particularly if it was just residential things. That would help people who spend a big portion of their money on utilities. But that's something we could look at. Maybe it goes to improve water systems, I don't know. But one of the things we have to do is keep our economy strong, see that our money is spent wisely in the state, see that we're actually getting results for the money we spend, not just continue to push more money at new things and more projects. That's important. Our job market is strong. I've been a big advocate for vocational training and things to keep employees flowing into our businesses. Other parts of the state are not as well off as we are. And you have to look at this job from a statewide perspective. Sure, we're going to represent our community. We're going to advocate for things here. But you cannot properly do this job without looking at the statewide perspective.
All right, thank you, Rex. Troy Weathers, same question about the economy.
Well, I think we're in a mess, if you want the truth. Last night in the debate, I brought several of these issues up. One of them is tax relief for our elderly. I spoke with Mike Smith, our trustee, which is a great trustee, and we talked about the issue of people not applying for it. The state supplements that program, subsidizes it. Okay, if you're 65 years old, you make less than $41,000, I hope that you will get a hold of our trustee, go in and find out the paperwork you need to fill out and get that relief, because they freeze your taxes at 65 years old. And the state picks up the difference when it goes up, which is a great opportunity for people to save money. Unfortunately, a lot of taxes, my opponent talked about the tax on the water. Well, it's really the tax is what that tax does is keeps the facility running, and it's updating it. They are covered with all type of expense. Cleveland Utilities, it's unbelievable what they face with every day about just supplying utilities for us. I also would tell you that we have a great opportunity here in Cleveland. We have the Pie Center. It's about to come online here in about a month and a half. And it is going to be the game changer for us locally to be able to have employees for companies to come to Cleveland. If you don't have employees, we're not going to have anybody else come. I'm just telling you. And we all know that. And that has been a work together of every industry in Cleveland has worked on trying to get the Pie Center up and going and been a part of it. And the Chamber of Commerce, I just named many of them. That's going to be the game changer for us long term. Short term, I think they're going to have to be some relief. Unfortunately, I have to swallow real hard when I talk about wanting to send more money out and not getting any in. I think it's dangerous. I think our economy could fall, and I think we've got one of the strongest economies in the country. And I think we've got to continue doing what we're doing to make that stay there.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. We're going to take another break right here, and then we are going to cover another area. We're going to do our very best to be done around 9 o'clock. You're listening to Mix 104.1. You're watching us on Talk 101, listening on Talk 101.3 The Buzz, watching us on mixtv.tv. And we appreciate you doing that. Thanks so much. Serenity Funeral Homes of Cleveland and this area, our sponsor this morning. We'll come back, and like I said, we'll cover a couple of more areas here when we return. It's our Mixed Mornings debate series this morning featuring the State House 24th District. And we'll come back in just a moment. Bridget, I want to go over to you. Let's get a check of our Simmons Bank celebration list.
All right. Happy birthday to Jocelyn Chastain, 11 years old yesterday. And she shared a birthday with her great-grandfather, Bill Ingram, who was 80 yesterday. Corey Hood is 32 today. Lyle and Seema Swartzel, they are celebrating their 37th wedding anniversary today. And Josh Kilgore also having a birthday. Call in your birthdays and wedding anniversaries to us. We'll take those on the Volunteer Ridipest Mix line, 614-6499. You can go to our website, mymix1041.com, or download our free Mix 1041 app. It's the Simmons Bank celebration list. Simmons Bank works hard to make their customers' dreams come true.
And we'll come back, check traffic in about 15 seconds.
This news update is brought to you by Newlyweds Foods. Newlyweds Foods is hiring. Call them at 423-559-0909 or visit newlywedsfoods.jobs.net and search Cleveland Jobs.
Good morning. Let's get a check of traffic here. This Don Ledford Cleveland Mix Highway Patrol report is brought to you by Don Ledford in Cleveland. Don Ledford Buick GMC in Cleveland has an answer to high automobile finance rates. During the month of July, you can get 0% financing on all of their 2022 Buick SUV models and most all of their GMC truck models. That's at Don Ledford Cleveland on North Lee Highway. We have no reports of any accidents this morning. Drive safely out there. If you see a traffic problem, give us a call. The Volunteer Ridipest Mix line is 614-6499. This traffic report is brought to you by Drain Right Guttering. Call them at 423-472-7018. Online at drainrightguttering.com. The go-to gutter guys will check your Mermaid Mattress Weather Center forecast coming up.
At some point in your life, you may be faced with a legal challenge, whether it be a personal injury, business dispute, or family matter. Our goal is to overcome your legal obstacles and get your life back on track.
If you or a loved one have been injured or have legal issues confronting you and your family, talk with someone on our team. We will investigate your problem to determine the facts and the law. Working together, we can develop a plan to obtain the result you deserve.
My dad says our new Linux system saves energy.
Well, saving energy means saving money.
A lot of money?
Yep.
Time for a raise in my allowance.
Savings year after year.
A big raise.
Call today for perfect air you can feel in your home and savings you can feel in your wallet.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Call Dale's Heating and Air today.
Need a metal roof for your home or business? Come see us at Best Buy Metals, a leading manufacturer of metal roofing products. Looking for great service? Check. Want to choose from a wide variety of metal roofing products? Check. How about complimentary takeoffs and free estimates for commercial and residential projects? Check and check. From small orders to semi-loads, we've got you covered. Literally. Best Buy Metals. Quality roofing that lasts a lifetime. Come see us today.
You're watching Mix Mornings on Mix TV. Here is your current Kia of Cleveland time. And your current temperature is brought to you by Simply Bank.
Mermaid Mattress Weather Center at 8:45. It is Roger Pickett telling you about joining the Mermaid family. So many people have, and there's a reason for that. You can shop local and, get it where they make them. At Mermaid Mattress, Roger.
Take advantage of 5 years interest-free financing when you purchase any Tempur-Pedic mattress set from this area's original Tempur-Pedic dealer, Mermaid Mattress.
Mostly cloudy skies early in the day today. Isolated thunderstorms may develop this afternoon. Storms may contain strong gusty winds, a high of 93 and a low of 73 tonight, with more scattered storms this evening. For tomorrow, thunderstorms likely during the morning and then scattered storms during the afternoon. Those storms may contain strong gusty winds as well, a high of 92 and a low of 69 tomorrow evening. Partly cloudy on Friday with a high of 94. Your current Simply Bank temperature is 76 degrees.
This Mix 1041 weather forecast is
sponsored by Life Care Center of Cleveland, celebrating more than 45 years of serving the needs of the aging community. Life Care Center of Cleveland.
All right, back for a final segment now, and we really appreciate the gentleman joining us this morning for the three of the four candidates, that is, for the State House District 24, and I appreciate them joining us this morning. And we're gonna move on now to education, and we're gonna begin with Rex Wagner on this one, and just simply the question. Your thoughts about education, but also biggest needs as you think about education in our state. And again, I like that specific focus, especially in the district that you gentlemen are running for, specifically in Cleveland. But that is the question is about education. And Rex, your thoughts on that generally?
Education is what brought me from hoeing a garden over on the side of Candies Creek to being a lawyer that I can represent people in our courts. It's something I never dreamed I'd be able to do when I was a child. But great teachers that I had in high school and also in college at Cleveland State put the vision in front of me of what you could do. They made the law, they made many things come alive and make it interesting, and showed me how you could serve your people, your community, and your nation. In that, but you had to have the opportunity to learn. You had to make the use of it. I spent a lot of time in classrooms, and I've spent times teaching at Cleveland State. We were in a building last night. I've taught classes in that very building, and I know what works and I know what doesn't work. And education needs to be more economic based. It needs to be based on giving people job skills and training, and I'm thrilled to see some progress in that area. Tennessee's made a lot of progress. We need to do even more. There are adults that need more skills and more training, and Tennessee has programs to do that, and I think we've got to enhance that. It's not just about spending more money and sending money to the same things. There's got to be new initiatives that get new skills and new people. I've had students come into my office as interns, and they cannot write a business letter. And that shouldn't be happening. Cleveland State, I was at a meeting years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago, and they were telling us how they're having to do remedial training in classes for a lot of their students. Not all. There's some students that do very well. And they may have been from different counties. Cleveland and Bradley County is blessed. We have above average schools here. There's no question about that. And there's a lot of people dedicate their lives to doing that. But in other parts of the state, it's not so much the case. But vocational training is our future.
All right, thank you. I want to go to Troy Weathers. Same question, just needs of an education as you see it, and then just your overall thoughts.
Well, let me first start with the Pie Center for a moment and clear a couple things up. We're going to have adult training in the Pie Center also. It's not just going to be for students at Bradley at our high schools. And let me tell you the most important part of that. Government doesn't work this way, but we are. When we open up the Pie Center, it'll be self-sufficient. No more tax money, no expense to the public. And that is probably that's the big news. Is we're not going to be spending money, continue spending money. It's going to be self-supportive, which is important for our future in education, I believe. And I think that Pie Center will be expanded across the state of Tennessee. But when we talk about education, I have always been one of those folks that said we need to make sure that we take care, that we work really hard in pre-K, kindergarten, first, second, third grade. Because I think if you get it there, you'll have it forever. And we can recognize, my wife was a kindergarten teacher. She could tell you after 2 weeks if we got a child that's got a problem. 2 weeks. You can talk to any teacher and they'll tell you that. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't act very quickly. I believe we need to do something there more than what we've done in years past. And I'm willing to go to Nashville to make that happen. I think the new funding, I don't know if you're aware, but we're putting $750 million into education this year alone of new money. So I hope that a lot of that money is going to go down toward the elementary side. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I was just endorsed by the Tennessee Quality Education for elementary education because they want somebody in Nashville that's going to stand up for education, which I'm certainly that candidate. That's not my only thing, but that's a big deal. Also, teachers, Tennessee Education Association, the teachers of Tennessee have endorsed me as the candidate to go to Nashville. I think it's important. Education, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, Steve, if I didn't have great teachers here in Bradley County in Cleveland to help me, see me through that, to help me get where I am today. So we owe them a great debt of gratitude.
Okay, thank you. And Kevin Raper, same question about education, the needs as you see them in our state, specifically locally, and then just your overall thoughts about it.
Let me begin by going through my past just a little bit. I've been a teacher for 35 years. When I say I've been a teacher, that's not exactly true. I've been a teacher for 29 years. 6 of those, though, I was a principal. So I've been a teacher, a coach, a principal, and along with that, I have served thousands of students. I've served many parents, and I've also served ultimately tons of students and their needs, and tried to treat them like a father, something they'd be proud of. Do we have needs? Yes, we do. One is we need to bring education more on a local level and empower our local bodies and our school systems to make more decisions. Next thing is this, and I hear this all the time. Our teachers feel like there's a real disconnect between them and higher levels of government. And we need to find a way to have liaisons at every school, and then what they do is they hear the concerns and take them back to the district, and that needs to be part of the big puzzle, whereas teachers do have a voice, and the apathy doesn't build in due to them feeling like they do not have a voice. So I've seen education from all the way around, and education to me is my lifeblood, and it'll never leave me.
All right, gentlemen, and I'm going to ask one more question, then we'll get your closing. And I do want the audience to understand, you know, I'm aware, and we had so much response. There are so many topics we could bring up, and I know that, and simply we've just tried to hit the one would say the high points, but I'm fully aware of that. And I do know these gentlemen, as Jimmy said last night, and he did an excellent job on the debate, that these gentlemen, I'm sure, will be glad to engage with you and talk with you. So, and I think I can say that for all three of them. All right. So I'm going to go though as a final question to law enforcement, and I'm going to go to safety. We know that with growth, as we're seeing in the state, as we're seeing locally, there are more issues with crime. So I just want to get your take on that, and I want to begin with you, Troy Weathers. I want to get your take just on crime overall, on law enforcement, on your thoughts on that, on your stance on that, if elected. Troy Weathers, we're going to begin with you.
Well, thank you. I think it's an excellent question for us, because I believe that for law enforcement is our security in Cleveland, Tennessee. I want to feel safe when I go home. Okay, and I want to know they're a phone call away. However, there's some things happening here in Bradley County that concerns me in Cleveland, that we have law enforcement that is, in my opinion, being underpaid terribly. Okay, if we want a service, we got to pay for it, and we've got to take care of our employees. And I've talked to the sheriff. I've met with him several times, and he's a great sheriff. He's done a great job, but he needs some things that we need to change in Nashville. Just so you know, we talked about one of the big thing is the retirement program. He can't hire folks from one organization to another to us, because of the fact that we're on a different type of retirement than everybody else is, or most of the others offices. So that has crippled him in order to be able to hire qualified people. So he has asked, if I get to Nashville, that I would help him work on that to try to change where we are. And we all are smart enough to know that if you got happy employees, they're going to do a better job. And we should be taking care of the sheriff's department, our county employees. It doesn't matter what part of the county you work at, we ought to be taking care of those. So certainly if I go to Nashville, I'm going to do everything I can to help our firemen, our police officers, and anybody else, our first responders, because they are critical to our success. Because we're very fortunate. Crime has not taken over Cleveland. Let me first say that. Because we've got great people that are helping us keep that from happening. But we have to be the undergird of helping them help us. And I hope as you send me to Nashville, I'll assure you I will be doing everything in my power to make sure that takes place and help our folks here locally. Not Memphis, Tennessee. Again, locally, help our folks, because that's who put me there. Thank you.
All right, Kevin Raper, same question. Crime, law enforcement, safety.
We do have a problem, and the problem consists in several areas. One, though, and it was already mentioned, salary-wise, we've made a few strides salary-wise, but we need to make much bigger jumps. For example, we have become a training ground for different first responders. We train them, and then they jump to bigger salaries and more benefits in the surrounding areas. At one point, before we had some recent raises in the last 2 or 3 years, even smaller counties such as McMinn was paying more than a lot of our first responders. Next thing is this, and I'm really proud of, is the fact of we have made giant strides in safety, such as body cameras, and they're going all the time. And this not only protects the public, but it also protects the people wearing the body cameras themselves. Okay, the other one, we upgraded tasers. There were some that were really not even of use. So we got the latest and greatest as far as those are concerned. We can always make strides when it comes to safety and security and welfare of our citizens, and that's always going to be a top priority of mine. And not only dealing with first responders, but dealing with citizens in general, dealing with veterans, dealing with the people down at the landfill that breathe in the harmful odors. So a number of areas, but going back to the specific question about first responders, we're making strides, but we need to make much more.
All right, Kevin, thank you. And now to Rex Wagner. Rex, law enforcement, safety, and keeping the people of Cleveland and Bradley County safe.
Well, we're fortunate in Cleveland and Bradley County. We've probably got 2 of the best law enforcement agencies in the state. And that's been that way for a long time, and there's a lot of people worked over a lot of years to get to that point. We have good professional officers, but keeping them is a problem. We need better career paths. We need better professionalism and things so that we're not just providing a training ground for larger departments or more financially stable departments. That's going to be by enhancing career paths and enhancing pay. It's also a very tough job. It is the toughest job in the world, except maybe being a school principal or a dairy farmer. Those 2 are really tough. But it is a very tough job. I spoke with a retired officer this past week who had worked in Chattanooga and worked in Bradley County. He said the things you see and the things you deal with are just terrible. It's very, very tough. And also to put an officer on the street, the city or the sheriff, they have to hire 4 or 5 people to work all the different shifts. So it's not like you just hire one person, you've got somebody available 24 hours a day. It takes multiple people, and the training process is long. My experience in the legal world, but also my undergraduate degree in criminal justice, gives me a lot of insight in that world. And also, we've got to look at trying to shut down some of the repeat offender issues and diversion of the people who they're just constantly in our courts and divert them into some other things. The correction system has got to be improved to where people are not just continually getting arrested over and over and over. This is a big problem. There's still a big problem with drugs. There's still a big problem with drugs coming across our borders and the opioids and the fentanyl. There's pills out there. One pill is killing young people, and it's the real problem. But enhancing professionalism and career for our police and officers is going to be a big factor. Thank you.
All right. right, that is the end of the question portion of our debate series this morning. If you're just joining us on the hour, you're listening to Mix 104.1, Talk 101.3 The Buzz, and you're watching us on MixTV.tv. This morning we've been featuring our candidates for the 24th State House of Representatives District, 24th District, and we appreciate the gentleman joining us this morning. It's time for a 2-minute closing statement. So, gentlemen, we're going to invite you to speak directly to the voters. And as part of the closing statements, you may want to tell people how they can find out more about your campaigns. And like we said, we've really tried to hit the majority of the questions, but in the time we have, we simply can't. So if you want more information, you can get that from these gentlemen. We're going to begin our closing statements with Troy Weathers. We'll then go to Kevin Raper, and then to Rex Wagner. So Troy, 2 minutes as you speak directly to the people.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me say that I have been honored to serve you here in Bradley County and the city of Cleveland over the past 20 years as elected official. I believe that brings a lot of experience, a lot of know-how to make things happen. If you followed my career, you'll know a lot of things happen. We built schools, we built High Center, a lot of things that most things would not have happened, but we had brave people like myself on the school board to make things happen. I also would tell you that I promise you that if you send me to Nashville, I will be working for Cleveland and Bradley County. Now, we can talk about all the other places in the state of Tennessee, but that is going to be my focus, to make sure that I take care of our elderly, I take care of our veterans. I'm the only veteran on the podium up here today. I've served our country because I believe in service. I believe we should serve, and we should not be there to take. So I would ask you, as voters of Cleveland and Bradley County, if you would vote for me, I would be greatly appreciated. I'd be humbled. I can tell you that all the things I've ever done in my life, I've worked very hard at. I'm one of those people that I think even said last night, Steve, I don't hunt, I don't fish. I have a hunting license and fishing license, but I don't do those things because of the fact when I get involved in something like the school board, people thought I was full-time, and I wasn't. This is not a full-time job. But I'll assure you, I'll be available 24/7 for anybody in the state, in Cleveland or Bradley County that needs help. Contact, if you want to learn more about me, my Facebook page is Weathers for State, and we post things on there on a very regular basis. I think that we are moving in the right direction in Cleveland. I think we got to be very careful, though, as legislators, not to interfere with the business at hand here in Cleveland. That you have commissioners, you have councilmen, you have board members. They have a job to do. We need to make sure that we don't involve ourselves in their job and try to tell them how to do their job. We should automatically do our job, what needs to be done in Nashville. Again, vote for me, and I greatly appreciate it.
Kevin Raper, 2 minutes for a closing statement.
First of all, I'm Kevin Raper, and I have a couple of websites I'll refer you to, and it also has the links to my phone number, kevinraper.com, and also on Facebook, I have Kevin Raper for Tennessee House. I'm going to use some verbiage that one of my opponents used, and he uses, I am the only candidate. So I'm going to utilize that. I'm the only candidate in this race to be endorsed by Tennessee Right for Life. I'm the only candidate to have lived in District 24 for 32 years, and not just with a Cleveland address, but a District 24 address. And by the way, I did not move to District 24 to run for office. I am the only candidate to pay city and county taxes for 32 years. I'm the only candidate, and that's consecutive years, by the way. I'm the only candidate to be a family member and enjoy the benefits of District 24 for 32 years. Because of these qualifications I just mentioned, I am the only candidate to be your voice in Nashville. So let's do this together. My name is Kevin Raper. Vote for Kevin. God bless.
All right, thank you. And Rex Wagner, a 2-minute closing statement.
Well, thank you again, Steve, for having us here. I'm Rex Wagner, the candidate for state representative. All my life, I've wanted to kind of help and serve people, and I've been fortunate to be able to do that. A lot of my focus has been in family and my church and other things throughout my life. I was born and raised in the Hopewell community. I grew up here. This community has been very good to me. The teachers, the schools, the businesses, and all these places have contributed to getting me to this point in life, and I appreciate that, and I know this community well. And I'm seeking this job not to promote myself or my business or anything else. I'm looking at this as an opportunity to serve and give back to my community. I will do this for a period of time, and I'll then move on and let someone else do it. I'm not starting a political career. I am seeking a service job to service public. My door will be open. I will listen to people. I will listen to all sides of an issue, and I will do what's best for this community and for the state. I love this community. There's a lot that we're going to have to look at, but Tennessee is really on a pretty good track. We're on a pretty good path. We have a good, strong economy, and we need to keep it that way. We don't need to turn Tennessee into the state like some states around the nation where all the spare money in the economy gets sucked up and sent to the state capital and people don't get any or very little benefit. We want to avoid that, and we can do that by being very careful about what we do and how we do it. And by going to Nashville, working with other representatives, negotiating, coming up with deals, and we need to fix our roads, improve our schools, and make Tennessee a great place to live. RexForTennessee.com, you can learn more. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your vote.
Gentlemen, to all of you, thank you for volunteering yourself for service. That's number one. And to your families, God bless them. I know it's not just a one-candidate situation, it's the entire families. We really appreciate you guys coming in, you gentlemen coming in this morning. Also, I do want to thank First Baptist Cleveland. They have provided the lecterns. Now, if you heard a squeaky lectern, that was specifically provided by Jeff Lovingood. Jeffrey Lovingood. Lovingood! What happened? All right. It is Mix 1041, and you think he wrecked his car. MixTV.tv. I thank Gideon Ratcliffe, Austin Chadwick, Dwayne Williams. They have all been extremely helpful during what we've been doing since May, and we appreciate the feedback we've received. First time we've ever done these in the morning time, in the morning program, and we do appreciate it. If you missed any of our debate series, going back even to May, you want to go back and watch some of those, MixTV.tv is how you can go and catch up. All right, remember, early voting continues through the 30th. Is that right? I believe it's the 30th. And early voting continues through the 30th. Through the 30th. Exercise your right to vote. You can vote today, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Bradley County's Election Commission downtown, Bradley Square Mall, and Planet Fitness on APD 40. Glad we can give them a free plug. Also, you can find out more at mymix1041.com. Of course, Election Day is August the 4th. Our coverage will begin at 7 o'clock on election night right here from, again, our broadcast center on Mouse Creek. For all of us at Mix 1041 and MixTV.tv, I'm Steve Hartline. Have a great day, everybody.
Hey, listeners, there's a new Buzz Mondays at 9 p.m., the voice of We the People. It's about what the H is going on in America. Tune in and call in Mondays at 9 on 101.3 The Buzz. A seatbelt is required for this ride.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Doug Vierthauer, General Manager of Cleveland Ford. And together,
we are Cleveland Ford.